For the past few years, a mysterious polio-like illness has been paralyzing children in the United States, often striking after a mild illness, peaking every other year and reaching record highs in 2018. It's called acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM. While it is extremely rare, cases were reported in 38 states last year. But doctors and researchers say they still don't know what causes it or how to stop it. Amna is back with that story for our weekly segment on the leading edge of science, technology, and medicine.
Hey, hold my head.
I am holding your head.
4-year-old Camden Carr begins every day like this.
Push, push, push. More down, more down.
I can't.
You can.
Hours of therapy at Baltimore's Kennedy Krieger Institute.
Do you remember what that does?
Camden is relearning what his dad, Chris Carr, says he knew just weeks ago.
What else do you remember about him before he got sick? What was he like?
Oh, he was just hell on wheels, can I say that?
I think he just did.
As soon as he hits the floor, he's nonstop until he goes to bed.
In late August, Camden developed a sinus infection, nothing major. But when he woke up one day dizzy with a swollen face and having trouble walking, his mom and dad took him to the hospital. Within days, Camden's body began to shut down. For a brief moment, his heart stopped.
What went through your mind at that moment?
I thought I was gonna lose. It was hard, but I had to be strong for him and show him everything would be all right, as hard as it was. But like I asked the doctors, is this gonna kill my child?
Camden was revived, but spent weeks in a medically induced coma. When he woke up, he was paralyzed, unable to even talk. Tests confirmed he'd developed AFM. When it strikes, AFM attacks parts of the spinal cord that control movement, sometimes paralyzing arms, legs, shoulders, hips, and facial muscles. In severe cases, the respiratory system is also affected, making it hard to breathe. But strangely, feeling and sensation remain, and cognitive functioning is unaffected. Day by day, millimeter by millimeter, Camden is slowly regaining movement, starting in his toes. Researchers say the chances of getting AFM are just 1 in a million. In 2014, when the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention began tracking AFM, there were 120 confirmed cases. The next surge in 2016 saw 149 cases. In 2018, that went up to 186, scattered across the country. The CDC has now launched a task force to focus like a laser on the illness, and the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, an underwriter of the NewsHour, has ramped up their research too. But so far, very little is conclusive.
It's either a brand new virus, it's an enterovirus, or it's an immune response.
Dr. Anthony Fauci is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases at the NIH.
It's frustrating that we don't have the answers, but we feel a degree of urgency here. We feel a responsibility to the public, to the mothers, to the children, that even though it is rare, we feel a responsibility that this is a mystery and we've got to tackle it. It certainly isn't frustration, forget it. We can't figure that one out. We're going to figure it out.
Another mystery? Some develop AFM after an illness, while others don't.
In a community, you may have hundreds and hundreds of children who get infected, and only a rare one will get it.
More than 90% of AFM victims are children. The average age of those affected, just 4 years old. Back at Kennedy Krieger, just next door to Camden Carr, is 4-year-old Ava Janeski. Always the performer, this was Ava and her twin brother just weeks ago. On a Sunday in October, she climbed statues in a park. Monday morning, she had a fever. Tuesday afternoon, she couldn't move her legs. By Wednesday, she was on a ventilator, fighting to breathe.
It's very scary, and to watch them, especially at this age, she just turned 4, they don't understand, and they turn to you and give you that look to fix it, and when you can't, you feel very helpless.
My hand.
I'll hold your hand. And that's what we've been doing a lot of, is just a lot of hand holding and just trying to reassure her. And
Ava must now retrain her atrophied muscles how to move in very basic ways. The work can be excruciatingly painful.
Go, 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 go. Oh.
But in the absence of a cure for AFM, therapy is all that can be done. Ava's doctor, Christina Sadowski.
If you want to be a really good pitcher, you're going to practice pitching over and over and over again. So that's one of the things that we can tell the parent is that if you practice, if your child practices this specific movement hundreds, thousands of times, we have the chance of getting you there.
Among the most severe cases of AFM, experts say they have yet to see a child make a full recovery. But they say with early intervention and ongoing intensive therapy, they have seen patients make incredible progress.
The family has a good day.
In 2016, the entire Bottomley family in York County, Pennsylvania came down with severe colds, but only Sebastian got AFM.
What's the video?
This is a video of you fighting?
Yeah, to get better.
When he started stumbling as he walked, his mom, Krista, knew something was terribly wrong.
And Bastian has always been our most coordinated athletic child. He's always been very vigorous, very wild, high energy. And for him to do anything uncoordinated was out of the ordinary. Do you want to do the way that makes you look like you're super tough?
More than 2,000 hours of physical therapy later, Sebastian can move his hands and arms more. And $100,000 worth of special equipment, about half covered by insurance, have helped him regain some hip and leg muscle. But his mom says some things will never be the same.
It was very hard to watch me see my child's personality change before my eyes. And sometimes I would watch him and be like, do I even know my own child? Why? But he was going through a huge trauma. To me, it was surreal, but to him, he was very much living this as a disaster, second by second.
This is Chicky the Chickmunk.
Chicky the chipmunk?
Yeah, that's a little hilarious name.
But experts say children's resilience after the initial disaster is what makes their recovery possible. Kennedy Krieger physical therapist Courtney Porter.
I find that kids are still really motivated. Kind of any way that you can teach a kid to do what he wanted to do, whether it's, pick up a toy from across the room or just go visit a friend across the room, they'll want to do it. Whether that means they walked and ran like they used to, or we put them in a wheelchair and they drove over. I find they're still just super motivated to do it, and they're going to figure out a new way.
Do you have any doubt that Sebastian will walk again one day?
Of course I do. Of course I do. That's not something I tell him, though. Everybody has doubts, but if I had to put my money on it? No, he is going to walk someday. And also that's something that I need to believe that in order to push this hard. So my official answer is I have no doubt he is going to walk someday.
So I have to walk to the end?
With a little assistance and a lot of grit, Sebastian continues to move forward.
He's coming! He's coming!
His mom hopes for more awareness and information about AFM so that other kids won't have to follow in Sebastian's footsteps.
Push those legs, push, push.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Amna Nawaz in York, Pennsylvania.